the Sisters of St. Joseph. They came to Northern Ontario in the year 1881. They went to Port Arthur in order to teach the children of that district. But when they arrived, they found that another task confronted them. There were the poor men who were working on construction. And these sisters who had come rather as cheaters to the North Country vacated their convent and moved to the attic in order that the sick construction workers might be hospitalized. And that marked the beginning of all hospital effort in Northern Ontario. And now in this year 1949, they come to Sudbury and this new Sudbury General Hospital.
Sudbury General Hospital of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, overlooking Lake Ramsey. For the past 40 years, this institution has provided quality health care to the residents of Sudbury and northeastern Ontario. Here on this site, a stately home was built in 1913 by the British American Corporation as a residence for their general manager, J.A. Holmes. With the conclusion of the First World War, the property was subsequently sold to F.M. Stafford, a local department store owner. It then became known as Stafford House. The Sisters of St. Joseph, looking ahead to a day and need of greater hospital accommodation in Sudbury, purchased this property in July of 1944. At this time, the area was on the outskirts of Sudbury and was sparsely populated, the area between Paris and Regent Streets being uninhabited. On April the 6th, 1948, the Honorable Ray Lawson, Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, turned the sod to officially start construction of a new hospital.
And we are calling upon him, the Honorable Mr. Ray Lawson, to turn the first sod in the construction of Sudbury's new hospital. The Honorable Mr. Lawson.
By July 1948, the work was well underway, with excavation of rock going down to a depth of 18 feet. Construction moved ahead on the 8-story building, and by March 1949, the first floor was up. On April 25th, 1949, the flag finally went up 110 feet above ground, and the work of 515 tons of structural steel and 170 tons of bar joist was completed. May 1949 saw the official setting in place of the cornerstone with His Excellency Bishop R.H. Digman, D.D. of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Sault Ste. Marie.
A skeleton is coming to life today in Sudbury, the skeleton of the new Sudbury General Hospital. Today, after 5 years of visionary planning, the cornerstone of that hospital will be laid. As though an omen of good fortune, the sun is smiling down here on the site today. The band is playing in the background, the flags are waving, and the Sisters of St. Joseph are filing into their seats of honor.
I'll now ask Sister Reverend Mother Cecilia to place in the box certain religious articles in memorial of this occasion.
The stone is now being lowered slowly into position, and so this cornerstone laying, which means so much to the people of Sudbury, to the people indeed of Northern Ontario, is complete.
By November 1949, the unique Y shape of the hospital could be determined.
The thing was that when we developed this plan, which was actually a Y plan, it was primarily intended to catch the sun all year round in the rooms. Whether you got a lot of sun or no sun at all was important. So that's why I took on the Y shape, but it's related to the sun. The other aspect, of course, is that there's a tremendous view in most of this area. And you can see you've got the beautiful lake here, which has been commented on by many, many people. This hospital has two wings, which are single corridor wings. The back of it, of course, is a double corridor wing. And this is an unusually new feature. At that time, it was a challenge because no one had used it.
This is October 15th, 1950, a day that will be long remembered in the Sudbury district. For on this day, the Sisters of St. Joseph celebrated not one, but two events: the tercentenary of the founding of their congregation and the official opening of the Sudbury General Hospital of the Immaculate Heart of Mary.
The Honorable Dr. Phillips is now approaching the main entrance to the hospital. He's cutting the ribbon. It is now cut, and the new Sudbury General Hospital of the Immaculate Heart of Mary is now officially opened.
The new 200-bed hospital was designed to provide not only top medical care, but every available facility for the patient's comfort and service. The most modern materials and equipment then available were used throughout construction. Medical equipment included the latest X-ray equipment, a then new maxiscope, which was one of the first 4 installed in Canada. The operating room arrangement was the first in Canada, with the double corridor styling of operating theaters, forming a cloverleaf shape between scrub areas and operating room. The Stafford House was converted into a residence for the students of the new Marymount School of Nursing.
I'm a member of the second graduating class of Marymount School of Nursing, graduated in June of 1953. Of the 14 nurses that graduated, it's interesting to realize that with the exception of one, we have all stayed in nursing all these years. So Sister Sheila, our Director of Nursing, must have had a sixth sense because of all the nurses that she selected in our class, all but one has remained in nursing all these years. I think our student days were very, very happy days for us. We worked very hard. We worked 6 days a week and sometimes longer than our scheduled shift. The nurses at the hospital, the Sudbury General, were all graduate staff at that time, and they were certainly ready for us. These girls treated us wonderfully. They were our teachers and our friends.
On October 25th, 1953, the Mason Residence was opened to provide expanded residence facilities for the School of Nursing. It contained classrooms and living quarters for 33 student nurses. On November 9th, 1954, a new active treatment wing of 100 beds was opened. It included a psychiatric unit, surgical and obstetrical beds, nursery, physiotherapy, and occupational therapy units. Since 1955, Sudbury and area was growing rapidly, and with this growth, the need for expanded hospital services became increasingly evident. In response to this need, the Sudbury District Hospital Council was formed. Plans to expand hospital facilities in the community on a cooperative basis were finalized in an effort to avoid duplication of facilities and services. With this assistance, the Sudbury General Hospital was able to proceed with plans to expand, and on September 30th, 1971, a $5 million contract for construction of a 6-story addition was signed by Sister Margaret Smith, Assistant General of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Sault Ste. Marie, and officials of Ellis Don Construction. The first steps in the new construction program were the demolition of the historical Stafford House and the installation of a large boiler to accommodate a new addition. Fair weather prevailed, and the work progressed rapidly, with a topping-off ceremony taking place May 12, 1972. Inconveniences occurred, such as the day that strong winds blew over the construction outhouse, not to mention the trials and tribulations of staff, like these switchboard employees, working under makeshift conditions. On October 15, 1973, the Percy Gardner wing was completed. Some of the new facilities featured an expanded emergency area, a new renovated chapel, additional operating and recovery rooms, and the nuclear medicine department. The aid of technology in seeking to unravel the mysteries of human functioning and disease continued with the acquisition of the CAT scanner. The major $950,000 fundraising campaign for the scanner kicked off in 1979. The development of the Sudbury General Hospital as an emergency trauma center is greatly enhanced by the helipad, which was completed in June of 1986.
Now declare the teleport open. I've been at the Sudbury General Hospital as director of the emergency department for the past 7 years. And during that time, we've noticed tremendous change in the activities that we perform. We're functioning now much more as a regional referral center for trauma, neurosurgery, and many other types of care. The emergency activities become much more of a specialized form of care as well, with virtually all our physicians having certification and specialization in emergency medicine. We see over 60,000 patients a year, and that certainly is more than virtually any other hospital in in at least northern Ontario, and the majority of hospitals anywhere else in the province.
In 1977, obstetrics was centralized at the Sudbury General, leading to approval of a $2.2 million perinatal obstetrical unit in 1983. In January 1987, the Ontario Minister of Health, the Honourable Murray Elston, cut the ribbon to officially open the perinatal unit.
Use facilities may I declare this facility well and truly open.
Also in 1987, the Nuclear Medicine Department added bone densitometry to its modern diagnostic services. This equipment gives advanced warning in the prevention and treatment of osteoporosis. The use of space-age technology took a giant step forward in 1987, when the Sudbury General Hospital became one of the first hospitals in the province to utilize a laser in brain surgery. Since late 1987, eye patients have been benefiting from a YAG laser. This device is used in the restoration of vision following cataract surgery. A surgical progressive care unit known as SPCU was opened to assist patients in the transition from intensive care to regular care. Sudbury General Hospital is the base hospital for training paramedics. A new program began in 1987. To date, over 60 paramedics have received training in special life-saving techniques at Sudbury General. A new ambulatory care wing opened in 1988, improving follow-up patient care and management of sexual assault victims.
Other new developments over the years have included the opening of an ambulatory care area, which has improved our ability to look after patients who require return visits after they've been ill or injured. The emergency department at the General Hospital has developed to the point where we're able to take care of virtually any kind of patient who presents in a crisis situation, either medical illness, trauma, psychiatric problems. We're staffed round the clock with competent medical nursing personnel and crisis intervention personnel who can look after patients with psychiatric and other acute problems.
Doppler duplex ultrasound equipment, acquired in 1988, provides neurology with a safe and effective way to help detect and evaluate cerebrovascular disease. In the fall of 1989, a new $1.1 million CT scanner was received. This new scanner offers higher resolution and faster imaging and is capable of manipulating data in more ways for improved diagnosis.
By today's standards, it would be very difficult to imagine practicing medicine in Sudbury without a CT scanner. Our new scanner is evidence of the commitment of the Sudbury General Hospital to provide up-to-date diagnostic services to the citizens of northeastern Ontario. The scanner is scheduled to operate approximately 10 hours daily, but does provide 24-hour emergency coverage 7 days a week. Over 6,000 CT scans were carried out in the last 12 months. The number of examinations has increased because of the special capabilities of the machine, and in part because of the growing needs of the Northeastern Ontario Cancer Treatment Centre. The new CT scanner is very important to us all, both the physicians and the patients.
In January of 1990, the Sudbury General opened the doors of a new community mental health clinic.
For over 20 years, our hospital has responded to the needs of our citizens for quality mental health care. We were delighted, therefore, when the Ministry of Health accepted our proposal to move beyond our hospital walls and establish a strong community presence in the field. The Interact, psychogeriatric, and eating disorder programs represent part of the Sudbury General Hospital's network of community outreach programs. Our commitment to reach out into the community to share our wide range of expertise for the betterment of health and wellness has never been stronger. We know that with our presence in the community, the local citizens will share in our pride of being always there to care.
The Department of Psychology is associated with 2 of the Sudbury General Hospital's community mental health programs, which have recently moved into the community. Our Eating Disorders Clinic is presently offering a variety of group and individual therapies aimed at meeting the needs of those individuals presenting with anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, or clinical situations of mixed symptomology. The therapies, which have been developed by a multidisciplinary team of professionals, focus on restoring physical health, analyzing a disturbed eating behavior, and addressing the psychological and emotional problems which underlie these disorders. The clinic is offering both outpatient and day clinic services. Our psychiatric daycare program, which is also known as the Interact service, offers a variety of individual and group psychotherapies which attempt to assist individuals with various forms of lifestyle adjustment disorders and difficulties. Programs offered include mood and anger management, grief counseling, relationship therapy, stress management, and assistance for survivors of childhood abuse. As well, our program offers treatment aimed at stabilizing and enhancing the lives of individuals with chronic psychiatric disorders.
1990 marks the beginning of 40 years of service by this hospital and its staff to the residents of Sudbury and area. We take this opportunity to gratefully remember our courageous founders, my community, the Sisters of St. Joseph of Sault Ste. Marie, who responded generously in faith to the request to establish this hospital in Sudbury. Sister Joan, the first administrator, received outstanding support from the late Bishop Dignan, local clergy, physicians, and the business community as she planned for what was to become the most modern 200-bed community hospital of that time. Our many long-term employees, the hospital board, and auxiliary have all played a significant part in the evolution of our hospital and can take pride in the fact that the Sudbury General Hospital now plays a major role in the provision of sophisticated healthcare services to all of northeastern Ontario. May God in His fidelity continue to bless all those who strive to make this hospital a place of healing and caring.
The Sudbury General Hospital of the Immaculate Heart of Mary continues to respond to the many challenges associated with providing numerous modern healthcare services for the people of northeastern Ontario. But it is not only the building and sophisticated state-of-the-art equipment that provides these services. It is the people.
I really can't see myself doing anything but nursing. You do hear pros and cons discussed before people do go into nursing. I think knowing the greatest reward is knowing the hard work that has gone into the recovery of some patients, and even maintaining the mobility and adding to the quality of life for the patient who can't recover that is your greatest satisfaction.